give it another. Oh, there we go. We're live on Facebook. It always surprises me. Thank you so much for joining us again. This time we've got Virtudesk with us, and we're going to be talking about the executive virtual admin or assistant, whatever you want to call it. And for that, we've got the CEO of the company, Pavel. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, these have been really informative. The ones that we've had like, I think 3 that have been really good, the back-to-back ones.
Yeah.
Where you've given the checklists, the process for hiring, and really it's actually helped us because, you know, I have 2 teams here, one that's in the States and one that's virtual assistants. And then our virtual assistants are head by Sandra, like she's in charge of everybody there. Yeah. So this has really helped us kind of button down that side of it. So thanks for that, man.
Of course. And we're glad to bring more value to the LCA community, you know, and I mean, everybody knows about what virtual assistants are. So we decided just to take it up a notch, you know, a little bit and show what an executive VA does. And what's the difference between, you know, like a general virtual assistant who works for you in the back end and somebody who's more of a like EVA, we call it EVA, like executive virtual assistant. So let me go ahead and
you made a whole presentation from this though, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. I'm excited to see this because we're always learning a little bit more. And guys, if you have questions on this one, just let me know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Happy to answer them as we go. He has a presentation for us, and this is specifically for this. So, dude, tell us where the idea came from, because I know we're always throwing out titles, and finally.
Well, the idea for the executive VA, the EVA, where it came from, it's basically what the demand was, and the demand was when you know, we've been in the business 4 years, and whenever we talk to a customer and finding out the needs of a real estate agent, we kind of like dip into what's needed. So a lot of times what we used to do, just offer just straight ISA just for prospecting, or somebody for admin, or to do marketing. This is different rates of people. So, but the demand was that people were asking, well, can I have one person who does both, who can do prospecting and can handle my personal stuff, or who can handle my admin and marketing? And that's.
Would you say, Pavel, that that's similar to what we have with Sandra? Kind of, she's like in charge of everything.
Yes, it's more of a like that. And so basically what we saw that the need, not exactly demand, but the need, because people, you know, once we start a business, we think, okay, the business model is going to work like this, but at the same time, we have to adjust and see what the customer needs. And the executive virtual assistant is turned out to be a very popular program, and people hire more EVAs right now than they hire ISAs or just admins. And the reason is because the EVA is more of a, like, you know, not just like an assistant who's just going to tell you, who's going to do what you say, but the combination of everything at the same time, basically. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I kind of envisioned, because this is the first time I'm actually reading this. So it makes a lot of sense, because when I think of this, I think of our executive virtual assistant, which, I mean, I think the title in itself doesn't do justice to what they actually do.
Well, right? I mean, we can call the, you know, Rockstar VA. You know? I
mean, dude, so we have part of our team listening in for lab coats, and they know that Sandra on that side, she's just like, she just does whatever needs to be done, which
exactly. Is like, and the business needs kind of dictate that you have not only just, you know, one person. Sometimes what happened, like, especially people on a tight budget, they say, well, I mean, I don't want to hire 2 people, one for admin, one for ISA. Can I have combination, you know, of both in one person? So for that, you gotta basically do preparation of you know, of a special talent. You need to source for special talent. You need to scout and find those people, and at the same time, you need to kind of, you know, train them on things that need to be done. So that's what we've you know, what we've been doing. And so basically,
Yeah.
As the title says, what an executive virtual assistant is somebody who's more of a like a critical thinking, more of a marketing strategic counsel, somebody who will dabble in the things you do and help you with project management, event planning, communications.
Pavel,
Yeah.
with that event planning and communications towards the bottom there, maybe, the more that I'm thinking about this, because I'm thinking through my process as as a real estate agent. When I first started as a single agent, doing it on my own, no team, back in 2003, 2004, and then I progressed to a virtual assistant like 2009, 2010. I really would have enjoyed getting this type of an assistant first, because I think that's what I was envisioning first when I thought of a virtual assistant. Because what I found is, now that we're doing this, there seems to be two levels of virtual assistants. One, where what we covered in the last, not the last one, but the one before, where you and I outlined everything that the virtual assistant needs to do, right? Hey, here are your steps.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do this. Find the routine, make it better. This, on the other hand, is where I feel like they're already thinking more on their own because they're higher level. So they're going to be coming in and they're going to be saying, like with Sandra for us, because I've had her for 5 years, 6 years, I don't even remember. But she goes in, she goes, nope, this isn't working. This isn't working. You have to do this differently. And to tell you the truth, when she texts me, I'm a little scared. I'm like, well, okay, where did I mess up now?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. I agree with you. And that's, so basically, the EVA, we call it in the internally, EVA is pretty much responsible for marketing, for administration, and prospecting. Prospecting may involve not only just answering, doing like prospect outbound, but answering inbound calls, let's say and specifically right now, because of this pandemic and the closures and everybody working from home, we've experienced people actually hiring EVAs also answer inbound calls for the brokerage, or for a company, because it's just easier that way, and at the same time do other stuff. So it's more of like a mix and match, and the whole training actually is longer. The training, let me show you. I mean, so pretty much like gives you the idea what the training timeline is for somebody who's just a virtual assistant. But when we hire a virtual assistant for the company, if it's a general virtual assistant, then it's we do like a 1 week training for those people. If it's an ISA, like scripting and practice of scripts, it's usually 10 days. And executive VA, it's an intensive 2 weeks training. So they do go for, and this is just to give you an idea what the training timeline looks like.
Really quick, Pavel. I have a question about this on the training. So this is good. So one thing that I have a question on is from the audience. Ruby says, hey, are they trained in, and she's being very specific here, but RealVolve, do you know?
I don't know what RealVolve is.
Right. So I know that you have a back-end system where it shows all the training for everything that they have. So we can, I'm sure we'll find out for you, Ruby, but we don't know that. And then the other question that some people may be wondering as well, because it's a good question, Ruby, is are they licensed? And no, these are not licensed.
They're not licensed, no.
Yeah, they're not licensed real estate agents. They would be just like any other admin that you would hire that does not have a license. And yes, these are all from the Philippines.
Correct.
And for us in LabKit agents, half of our team is in the Philippines.
So basically, we have this is our library that we have, like we call it Virtudesk Academy. We train on those CRMs. People train on those tools, just to give you an idea. And we've been doing it for a while. This is the recent one we've added. The commands, because we've had a lot of KW people asking, so we've built up this training platform for VEs to learn command and how to do all this stuff. I don't know any of that, but I mean, I could, you know, probably take a class and learn that thing, but this is what we've compiled so far, indexed on the commands. So they do, you know, learn major CRMs. So if as far as like Revolve, I mean, we need to find out what it is, and it's possibly we probably could, you know,
Yeah.
we could probably train them on that.
I love it, dude. Yeah, definitely. And so any other questions in regards to that, let me know. I'm going to post up in the chat box if you did miss one of our earlier webinars. I'm putting up the link to one that we did about a month ago. It was Virtual Assistants 101. And
oh, looks like Ruby actually says part of the FirePoint CRM. Yes, they do. FirePoint. We have trained them on FirePoint, and it's not that. I mean, it's not that difficult. And I think we had FirePoint here somewhere. I don't see it anymore. But we did train people on FirePoint. So
yep, I've seen it because you guys helped us out when we onboarded into FirePoint 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Yep, that was good. And then the other question that we had is, do they do zip forms and DocuSign? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
I have them do that all day for me. So we're good on that. So let's get back into this training timeline.
So training timeline is, as I said, you know, when you hire, you know, admin for $8.60 an hour, that person is going to be trained for about a week on all the real estate basics, how offers are made, you know, like what they teach in real estate school. They train on social media marketing. But again, a lot of them are actually the millennials, so they do know social media very well. We train them on MLS, some CRM tools, you know, all lead management, and they have to take an exam. If they are training for the EVA, for the executive virtual assistant, the timeline is longer. It's extra week. So we basically train on all other stuff here, as you can see. Also, we have people for doing WordPress. We just hired a guy who's excellent at SEO, but I don't know who's actually doing SEO now. But it's there.
Who is that guy?
We just hired him. He's going to be one of our managers. He has got 10 years of experience working on Comcast. So
what?
Yeah,
dude,
for West Coast.
I need to connect with that guy just so he can help us a little bit.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we just hired him, and 10 years working for Comcast. So the guy is awesome, and he's good at SEO. So so I hired him as a coach and team lead for one of our teams. So
I love it, dude. Good job.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right now we've experienced since, you know, because of the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, and we actually able to pick up some good talent. At the same time, it's kind of hard to pick good ones. So. But just to give you an idea, when we hire, let's say we receive about 300 resumes a day. From those resumes, we interview about 50. Then about maybe 20 of them don't make the cut for the background check, because what we do, we also do background check on all of our applicants. We make sure that they, you know, don't have any prior complaints from the employers. We find out where they worked. We verify that, you know, their resume is indeed what it says. We make sure they pass the criminal background check. So from those 30, about, you know, people go to training, and about, you know, 50% of them actually make it through training, because training is, you know, we actually make what's called a work-life, experience, and in essence that the training mimics what the real work would look like. So which means they do training during the graveyard shift. They do under the same conditions, because they need to get adjusted to working from home. But again, everybody's working from home. Also, they need to adjust to actually wake up at a certain time and be awake and function because of the time difference. So all of our team they work from home, and they work at night, which is customarily for the Filipino virtual assistants, because they are 15-hour time difference with us. at least with us on the West Coast. With East Coast is 12 hours. You know, and we end up hiring only about 3 or 4 out of those training because, again, we put them through the exam, we put them through system check, and we make sure that they pass system check. So yeah, it's
well, I think
it's intense.
One thing that you have to take into consideration, just looking at that screenshot, Pavel, for those of you listening in, is that out of all the resumes that are being sent in, we're only hiring 3, right? Because I'm also a client of Virtudesk, so I get to choose which one it was.
Yeah.
And the important thing is, once they're going through this training, it's not like they're learning it for the first time. It's like, hey, learn how to type. Hey, learn how to use this site. Through their past experiences of being a virtual assistant, because chances are they're already a virtual assistant somewhere else, for Bank of America, for Chase, or for some company, right?
Yeah, a lot of Fortune 500 companies outsource to the Philippines. It's normal practice.
And so those are the people that are already been trained in customer service, in picking up the phone and going deep into research and whatever it is. And now they're coming to you, and they're just going to be trained a little bit more if they're not familiar with like some of the processes that Pavel has for Virtudesk. So that's the cool thing about it. And when you get to choose those people that fit your work and your style of doing business, that's when the magic happens. That's what you kind of left out there, Pavel. And this whole thing that Pavel's showing you, this was also created by one of a virtual assistants. So
that's correct. Yeah, I'm not a graphics guy. So this is just to show you what this is a real-time picture of entering class when we hire people, and that's how the training happens, you know.
Oh, nice, dude. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, we just decided to throw it in just to show you a little bit inside of what's going on.
I love that, dude. Okay, question from Roger from the audience. Roger is asking, okay, 50% off of what and what's the cost normally? Just to interrupt you.
Yeah.
How long is the commitment for?
Well, the cost, let's say if it's an executive virtual assistant, the cost is $11.25 an hour, because again, you get a combination of both ISA and a GVA. If you're hiring just an admin, it's $8.60. If you're hiring an ISA, it's $9.60 an hour.
All right, but this executive virtual assistant is at $11.25.
Correct, and 50% off is for a setup fee, which is $450. But for lab code agents, the setup fee is half of that. Setup fee covers the training part and covers the management part and everything of that. So
perfect.
This is like, we've actually combined a checklist for people what a virtual assistant does, executive VA. So we have this checklist, and if you guys want to get a copy of this checklist or just copies of the slides, you need to text leverage to 31996 to get copies of this presentation along with the checklist. And
do me a favor, leave it there while I ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, Jessica, yes, funny, I love it. But Roger's asking, okay, so is this month to month? Is this a 6-month process? What is this? How long are we in contract for?
Well, it's basically month to month. We have a 90-day agreement, initial, because usually that's what it takes in the real world for a newly hired person to be kind of like blended into your company, into your culture. So we ask for this 90 days, and but again, we're not gonna hold it up against if you just try it out for a month and you see it's not working out for you. We're not gonna hold it against you. So
even when I still hire VAs, because I probably we've been hiring a lot a year now. But when we're hiring VAs, we don't stick to the first VA we interviewed, because sometimes it's just not a match.
Yeah.
And I mean, Pavel knows. I'm like, hey, Pavel, that one didn't fit, dude. Can you send me another one? Because that ain't working.
Yeah, exactly. It's a normal practice. You just text me and say, hey, I need somebody else. It's all right, done deal. We'll get you somebody else.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that's one thing that you have to be okay with. You have to know that chances are maybe the first one or the second one just isn't vibing with the style that you have, or maybe they're just not understanding or not communicating well with you. And it's okay. You will find one. To find the one that I have now, which is Sandra, which runs a lot for lab coats. It took me about 6 months to keep. I let go, I think, of 3 people before I got her.
It's normal. It is normal. It's like you hire somebody for your office, and and sometimes you try somebody out. The person may not work out. Sometimes things happens, like in life. You basically, you let somebody go. That person decides to resign. It happens. And if it's not a good fit, you can just. I mean, what's the best part about it here? Like, some people I know have a hard time firing somebody. So here you don't have to worry about it. Let's say you and your VA is not working out. You don't have to tell your VA anything. Just let us know. We'll replace that person. That's it. So we'll do the firing for you.
Thank you, Pavel.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's normal.
All right, buddy. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's continue, man.
Yeah. So let me go to this. So I was showing the cost comparison. This is a annual cost comparison when you hire somebody from Virtudesk. Let's say you hire an executive assistant, you hire a full-time employee at your office. Like, I don't know, depending on your area where you're located. We're here in Seattle area, and we have $20 an hour usually what it is runs to hire somebody in the house. But don't forget, you have other stuff. You have, you have to pay the payroll taxes. I mean, they're talking to the government to get rid of the payroll tax, but it hasn't happened yet. You still have to do it. You have fringe benefits. I mean, call it either like, health, dental, life insurance, retirement plans, whatever. But your $20 an hour for a full-time employee when you hire somebody in your office is never going to be $20 an hour. It's going to be more because of the FICA tax and other. Plus, you need to have office space, equipment. You need to use, workman's comp. You have to pay. So all of that, it comes out to usually like 15% more than what you thought you were going to be paying. So this is just to outline what the basic cost for a full-time employee at the office is going to be for an assistant. It's going to be about $76,000 per year. Comparing the cost of a virtual assistant, you avoid all of that, and you save roughly about $53,000 per year when you hire an executive VA. So $53,000 you can use for your marketing, or you can hire several virtual assistants and actually scale up more. So just keep that in mind whenever you look at the cost of a VA. Some agents look at it as the cost. I look at it as the opportunity, as an investment. I don't look at what I spent. I look at what I saved, and what money I saved, where it can be used to grow the business. If I hire, instead of one person, 3-4 more people, then my business is growing. Means I'm actually expanding, and that's the way I look at things. It's a mindset thing. And during the lockdowns, we actually saw that we had agents contacting us hiring VA, and they were basically saying, well, I had to let my in-house person go because that person decided to get unemployment. So that's fine, but the problem is now they can add the person to go back because that person is actually making more in unemployment than they will be making working at the office. So, yes, we do have higher unemployment in the United States. However, at the same time, people are not really hurried to go back to work. So that's another issue. And, without being political, this is just a business decision some owners make. And that's what it is.
And there are part-time ones, man, because right now you were just showing full-time. So
this is full-time. We have a part-time available as well. Yeah. So you'll basically half of that.
And for those of you that are wondering also how you're charged, it's kind of like a tech company or a CRM where you just see
exactly. Yeah. We basically charge by an hour, and it's a credit card or debit card. Yeah. And again, your credit card is secure with us. You're not like, even though your VA is in the Philippines, but your financial information is in our Seattle office, and it's handled here. So that's one of the I'd say benefits when you hire a company like ours, instead of hiring somebody directly, is that you have a peace of mind that your financial information is secure and it's not going to go away somewhere, God knows where. Plus, we have insurance for those kind of things. Just
So,
gives you peace of mind. Yeah.
so I have a question for you in regard to a virtual executive assistant. Are we done with the slides here? Yeah, we are, right?
Yeah, we are.
All right, cool, cool. Let me go back. Let me stop the sharing. And we can do that. All right, so I have a question for you.
Sure.
In regards to the executive assistant, so that people can understand what we can use them for, because I think that's probably the biggest challenge, especially if you've never hired one.
Yeah.
What are some things that we as real estate agents can use them from coming in brand new? Would you hire a virtual assistant that's an executive assistant, or would you hire one just like starting off virtual assistant, not the executive one? What would you do?
If you're the executive virtual assistant is for a real estate agent who's more of a setup and up and running and kind of know their business, and they simply don't have time to handle a lot of things. Organizational things, for example, then it's probably better to, then yeah. But if you are, let's say, sole agent and you just need somebody to help you with the MLS, need somebody to help you with creating marketing collaterals to do some advertising. Yeah, I mean, then I would just go with with the regular virtual assistant who knows their stuff. And handle that part, or with an ISA who can do prospecting for you. So just to get you the appointments, and we have people who hire ISAs, just to do a prospecting, because some people are just not that good on the phone. Some people are not comfortable. Some people just don't have time to be on the phone. But you can start out with the regular VA. EVA. Oh, somebody's asking what's an ISA. ISA, it's inside sales agent. That's the person who's calling expireds and for sale by owners for you and schedule appointments for you to go. Because, if you look at, I know, like, I remember Tom Ferry once said, your job should be to meet with clients, negotiate deals, and close contracts. Negotiate contracts and close deals. Yeah.
Just build the relationships,
Yeah, build a relationship. Exactly. You depend, during this whole lockdown thing, but virtual meetings, whatever. So your VA can help you set up the virtual meetings, can manage your calendar, and
we lost you, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go. Back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Basically, what I'm saying is that some agents are happy that their VAs actually keeps them accountable. So that's
well, dude. That's exactly what I just said to you at the beginning. I'm scared with my executive virtual assistant text me, because I'm like, okay, where did I screw up now, right? Or what didn't I do? That's the biggest thing. All right, so we're losing Pavel in and out, but we'll have him right back. So I'm going to end it with this, just so you understand the power of an executive virtual assistant versus just a regular virtual assistant. We have you back in and out, Pavel. But with an executive one, you're going to be able to run a business and have them as kind of like the project manager, and I'm like your right-hand person, to be able to make any calls you need to make, respond to any emails you need to make, just figure things out on their own. If I say, hey, Sandra, could you please figure this out? The biggest difference is she will go and figure it out, versus a virtual assistant. They may need some guidance as to step-by-step process.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for me, that's the biggest difference. That's why if I had to start all over again, I would do my best to start with an executive virtual assistant. I feel like I'd grow and scale a little faster with
You would probably, yeah. You would. Looks like we had a question from Roger. Said, can we team share? Yeah, you can. We have people sharing VAs, and we actually have agents sharing a VA with a lender too. And you know, we basically, they both pay for the VA, and they share the VA 50%. Question from Facebook Live from Sophie DePons. I'm not sure if we can in Florida use a non-license for calling prospecting. I'd say, why don't you check with your broker and you know, go from there. But we did have this question before. I mean, number one, Sophie, we do have a lot of clients in Florida who are using virtual assistants and as an ISA for calling and prospecting. And Devin Kopp said, yes, in Florida, yes, we can. So that answers your question. Some states do require licensed. I know Michigan is one of them, Texas, New Hampshire. So what people do, and in Michigan, I know that they cannot prospect to expireds and for sale by owners, but they can call your database where your relationship already established, and you know, to connect with your database, with your sphere. Also, in some states, what we saw agents are doing, they are tailoring the script so that the script does not sound like prospecting, but more of a survey. And what the VA does is just schedules appointment to speak with a licensed agent about any details. So this is just some way people go around it about it, you know. Yeah.
I love it. I love it, dude. Can you do me a favor, post that number up again, and then we'll wrap up here.
Yep, I will.
This way, if anybody has any questions or wants to get a hold of those.
Yeah, just text 31996. Text leverage, the word leverage, to this number, 31996. So I'll send you copies of the presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any of the questions you may have. I read those messages myself, so I'll be happy to answer. Roger's asking, who handles the onboarding of an EVA and how long should it take? We handle the onboarding. We have a team, and that's another thing when you hire Virtudesk. You don't just hire one person, your EVA, you hire the whole team. We handle the onboarding of the person. We make sure that you know, all the systems are in check, make sure that your EVA knows all your logins and you know, and everything. And it takes about, usually meet and greet takes about, you know, a couple of hours. So we do that, and we provide you the logins for our proprietary software. It's called Timely, where you can see what time your, you know, VA started to work, what time finished, plus you see the screenshots. And we've just added the project management capability to that as well. So you'll be able to collaborate with your VA, and you know, we'll be able to, you know, to track their hours and see their screenshots.
I love it, dude. All right. So everyone, do me a favor, just text that number. You'll get the slides, and Pavel, you'll probably get a few people that are interested. Looks like Roger.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll be happy to talk to you guys.
Awesome. And then remember, this is recorded. If you want to watch the recording, it'll be on our YouTube channel. I did post it in the chat box. If you did miss any of the other parts, let me grab them right now. There, I just posted up the Virtual Assistant 101, kind of going through the process for the very beginning. Very, very sectioned and very nice. We did a good job on it.
And feel free to go to our website for more information. I'm going to type the website. It's myvirtudesk.com. It's myvirtudesk.com. I'm, you know, putting this out there so you can guys check it out. And it looks like Tessa just posted it. That's good. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being on, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for
everybody.